Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And while it appears, or at least initially, that I will be doing the program by myself today, just to let you know, Mike is in traffic. He is working to get home to location Bravo, where he will be able to join us later on. So if you see me looking off and peering over here, it's just it's the thing that's going to let me know that Mike is there. He's ready to go and ready to come and join us in the program. So for right now, though, folks, it's us, it's me, it's you. However you guys are partaking of the program, do me a favor, make sure that you comment. And then, by the way, if you're watching this on Twitter, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on OpsLens, however you are watching the program, we are catching your comments. So go ahead, comment, whatever you got to say. I will be looking for it, and we'll work to try and get you guys plugged into the program. But before we get started with the program, I got to make sure to plug some other folks. That's right. Got to plug the sponsors. Got to pay the bills. You know, that's kind of how this show kind of works. So let's start off with Hitman Industries. You can find them at hitmanindustries.net. They offer rifle and pistol length barrels. Whatever length you're looking for, trust me, they've got it. In fact, if you've bought an AR in the last 4 or 5 years, trust me, you probably already have one of their barrels. And I'm sure that you love it. So why not get more? Why not do a rebuild? Why not do a brand new build? Why not rebarrel your older rifles or handguns? Whatever you decide to do, you'll find what you need right there at hitmanindustries.net. Then we have the California Republican Assembly. Ronald Reagan referred to them as the conscience of the Republican Party. The largest and fastest growing grassroots Republican volunteer organization in the state of California. Trust me, folks, they're doing a phenomenal job. They got their annual conference coming up here the weekend of the 21st. Check them out at cragop.org. Once again, that's cragop.org. Also, we've got Hog holsters. If you're looking for a concealed carry holster or tactical holster, you will not find a better product than you will at hogholsters.com. And even better, you can get a discount. All you got to do is use the code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, just kind of like it is right up there. All caps, no spaces, and you can get your discount on your Hog holster today. And finally, if you're looking for hunting gear, outdoor gear, tactical gear, you're looking for cold weather gear, hot weather gear, trust me, you need to go to uscombatgear.com. They operate in integrity. They have fast shipping and great prices. Veteran owned and operated, uscombatgear.com. All right, we're going to jump into this first story here. I know you guys have heard about this event. I know you heard there was a speaker. Her name is Riley Gaines. She was a swimmer, and Riley actually spoke at San Francisco State University. I know, why would someone go to San Francisco State University to speak if you are, center right? Well, she was invited by Turning Point USA. There's a group of college students that is standing up for all that is good in America, all that has made America great. In any case, Riley Gaines is a swimmer, and she actually competed, and I believe either tied or came in second to, what's her name? Lila Thomas, the transgender swimmer, who basically won the national title. And her whole thing was, and her presentation was this. It wasn't so much as she was saying that trans women or transgender people shouldn't be able to compete. Her issue is that it is having biological males compete with women is simply not fair to women athletes, to female athletes. It puts and in some cases, if you're talking about contact sports, it actually winds up putting those women physically at risk. Well, she's like, we have to find a way. If they want to participate, then we got to find a way to make it so that it is actually fair, so that biological males, people who have a natural physiological advantage are not competing against women. Well, her speech was, not only was she interrupted, but she was assaulted and held hostage for 3 hours. They were even demanding money for her to be released. Well, the president of the university, instead of condemning the students, for not allowing free speech to take place, right? Not even having no idea what exactly Ms. Gaines had said or was going to say, the president decided, well, here, I'll let her read it to you. I'll read a little bit of the story to you. It says, San Francisco State University president authored a message about the Riley Gaines incident. She called the events deeply traumatic, but not for Gaines, who claims she was assaulted. But this is KRON, so they're saying claimed, but she was assaulted. Gaines, a former Division I college swimmer, said she was verbally and physically attacked at SFSU after she gave a speech on behalf of Save Women's Sports. Gaines tied with transgender swimmer Leah Thomas in the 200 freestyle finals at the 2022 NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships, and is outspoken critic of allowing transgender athletes to compete in women's sports. Now, it says here on Tuesday, San Francisco State University president Lynn Mahoney wrote a letter to the campus community. Quote, last Thursday, Turning Point USA hosted an event on campus that advocated for the exclusions of trans people in athletics. That is not true. The event was deeply traumatic for many in our trans and LGBTQ plus communities, and the speaker's message outraged many members of the SF community. Now, here's what's a trip. What's a trip about this, folks, is she then offered counseling to any students who were traumatized by this speaker. Now, this speaker was assaulted. When I say assaulted, I mean physically assaulted. Assault battery was hit repeatedly by I'm going to assume it is a transgender woman or a man, a male, a biological male dressed as a woman. Was physically assaulted. No one was arrested. Right? There were police right there. Nobody got arrested. Nobody was held up on charges. Nothing. And she decided that she is going to apologize to the students. No. The heckler's veto cannot be allowed to win. I'm hoping, and I know she's talking about this, but she's talking now about suing the university, and quite frankly, I believe she should. Because now what we see is we have evidence that the university staff, the university leadership encourages this type of behavior, right? This is worse than anything they could claim Donald Trump incited on January 6th, because it's directly there. She's directly telling them, obviously you responded that way because it was traumatic. And you encourage that behavior. Now, I hope this lady gets sued. I hope she personally gets sued, and I hope she gets sued under the university. I sincerely hope that they throw her under the university. I hope that she is in debt for the rest of her life trying to pay this off. Alma, you are right. Alma, you are 100% right. Alma commenting over there at OpsLens. She says it's despicable that has to be explained over and over. Yes, you are 100% correct. It is despicable, Alma, that it has to be explained. But it does. I mean, all right, for those of you, by the way, just one other thing. For those of you who do not know what the heckler's veto is, the heckler's veto is when basically you stop someone from speaking by not allowing them to speak, by constantly interrupting them, by physically, sometimes physically assaulting them. But it's not, free speech is about you being allowed to express yourself, me being allowed to express myself. It's about both of us. And what's great about that is that even if we disagree, it's the exchange of ideas, right? And I know a lot of people they wonder, they say, Craig, why do you go on liberal media? Why do you engage with liberal media, do interviews, do debates and stuff like that? I say because debate is a lot of how I learn, right? I can learn to come to understand. I'm not just debating because I'm looking to win an argument. I'm debating because I want to develop an understanding. And if I can drill down into what you believe, I can find some truth from it. Now, that truth may be that you're full of crap. That truth may be that maybe even you don't understand how flawed your position is. But that is still nonetheless truth. And I found that by debating, by having intellectual conversations and debate, I can actually arrive at an understanding. And sometimes we can even come to an agreement. I've changed my position from debating people. Doesn't happen often because I usually don't engage in debates about things about which I do not know. So I that's the one thing I do. I try to avoid debates about things about which I am ignorant. So, but once again, it's an opportunity to learn. But I also think it's an opportunity for other people to learn, for other people who are there, who are present, who are paying attention to what's going on. Anyway, and by the way, universities used to be where this sort of stuff took place. Right? Universities like San Francisco State University or California State University, San Francisco, places like UC Berkeley, places like Stanford, places like Rutgers, or Princeton, places where now they are not allowing people who do not fit the narrative, who are not down with the mantra, who are not down with what the proletariat is pushing. If you are not on the agenda or down on agenda, then nope, sorry, you don't get free speech. And once again, I'm hoping that Riley sues the crap out of these guys out of this university because they deserve to be sued. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, next we've got Anheuser-Busch loses $5 to $6 billion in value. You guys know why this is. I'll just say it. Dylan Mulvaney. I know no one wants to talk about this, but I mean it kind of ties to the last story because once again we're talking about trans. We're talking about a company that is going woke, like universities have gone woke, and they decided that they were going to hire Dylan Mulvaney to actually represent their company in selling Anheuser-Busch. And I'll give you here a quick snippet and let you hear what the vice president of marketing or whatever she was. Anyway, the vice president for them, who made this decision. Here's what she had to say about why they went down this road.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
All right. So now you see, so that's the position that she took. So in other words, she not only insulted the people who are their current customers, right? Calling them fratty, which basically her whole point was, calling them bigots or whatever. But that she, so she's not only now insulting their current customer base, but they're now going to, they did so and offended them in favor of someone who doesn't even consume their product, for a group of people that don't even consume their product. Well, as a result now, their company has lost basically over $5 billion in value. Now, I got to tell you, and the worst part about it is, it's not like this is someone who is transgender who you're like, oh, wow, this is, I could see this person drinking Bud Light. Dylan Mulvaney is a professional look at me person. Dylan Mulvaney more, she's almost a caricature of women than than Dylan is actually. I almost called her she, but anyway, more of a caricature than actual being a or acting as a or living as a woman, an example of transgender. I know in the gun rights community, I've run into a number of transgender women who are, some are over the top and some are, they dress, look, and they are no more. They do not try or attempt to be a caricature. And I don't know of another way to say it. But the thing is that this is someone who, anyway, you've got companies like Nike who hired Dylan Mulvaney to promote sports bras. Now, Dylan Mulvaney is not the sort of woman that would use a sports bra or that even needs a sports bra. And you have to think about the number of female athletes that are out there who would have loved the opportunity to be able to promote and talk about their product, right? Who would have loved for that opportunity, but such is not the case. Anyway, Edward over at Opsland says liberals cannot defend their thoughts and ideas. God gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears, but only 1 mouth. Yeah, I don't get it either. It's like we see and we know the obvious, right? And for some reason, those of us who see and know and recognize the obvious are being discouraged from actually pointing that out. Dylan Mulvaney has a 5 o'clock shadow. Now, wears a lot of makeup to cover up that 5 o'clock shadow, but has a 5 o'clock shadow. And I'm not supposed to recognize that as a problem, right? I'm still supposed to recognize that as a female. Anyway, that thar be how it bees. I apologize to you folks over there at Opslands. It says that the signal is running a little low. I don't know why it keeps locking up. If you go over to the rundown, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you go over to the rundown, you should be able to pick it up there. Also at the California Republican Assembly, you can pick it up pretty much anywhere over there, anywhere online. Or you can come back here and they should be able to re-up it or get it going again here pretty soon. So once again, apologies to those of you who are tuning in. I don't know if it's just on Opslands or if it's Opslands on Facebook. But anyway, I'm sure that they will get it all taken care of over there. The folks over there are working hard to make sure that you have access to the program. All right, moving right along. Next, we have the Babylon Bee is suing the state of California. No, this is not a joke. Yeah, I had to put that one in there because yes, the Babylon Bee is in fact suing California, and I'll just read a little bit from the story here. That guy Gavin Mussolini, he is a joke. Here, I'll read it to you. It says humor website Babylon Bee is suing to block a California law it claims gives the state power to censor their content. The satirical website is part of a coalition that petitioned a California federal court on Tuesday to block AB 587, a 2022 law that requires social media companies to periodically report content to the government, including hate speech and disinformation. The plaintiffs claim the bill is a vehicle for California Democrats to crack down on speech they find distasteful. Quote, those who wield the power in the Golden State have been candid about their displeasure with the speech being published on social media platforms, the lawsuit states. California Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta have both expressed a desire to use state power to chill speech they do not approve of. Constitutionally protected expression they refer to with derogatory labels like disinformation, hate speech, and extremism. Now, mind you, they're a satire site, which means that it's not misinformation that they are engaging in. What they are actually engaging in is well, it's speech. It's a comedy, right? They make fun of reality, right? So, and by the way, their targets often happen to be Democrats, and they go after Republicans too. But Democrats seem to be the easy target these days. And I'm sorry, I have to answer this real quick. My wife is here. See you guys. Say hi to my wife. Yeah, they're all saying hi now. My wife is in Fiji while I am here talking to y'all. But she called. This was the third time she called, so I had to say hello. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing well. Just wanted to see your handsome face.
All right, wait. Make sure they all hear you. Tell them about my handsome face again.
Yeah, he's quite handsome, right?
Baby, I will call you back when I get off. I'll call you back when I get off the air, okay?
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. Bye. See, that's how y'all know that this is live. Cause just so y'all know, in case you're wondering, that is the evidence that this program is in fact live. Anyway, but where was I? Oh yeah, we're talking about the Babylon Bee. So yeah, no, what it is they don't want even, and because so part of the challenge is a lot of this stuff they pick up, even though it's satire, they don't even want you commenting on satire, right? That's how ignorant they are, because they realize that a lot of the satire also, quite frankly, happens to have some truth to it, right? And Lord knows they do not want the truth out there, do they, Mike?
Hey, welcome to the Rundown. My name is Mike Piroworski. We promise to bring you the coolest stuff from all over the planet. Yeah, Craig, sorry about that. Today's the first day of rain in Florida, and everybody forgot how to drive. So I had to do it.
That happened. That's got to be a universal thing, because I know it happens here in California too.
Listen, if we go like 3-4 days without rain over the summer, it's the same thing happens. And it's not like last year. It's like, oh, I forgot how to drive since Tuesday. We get that a lot. So, yeah, can you believe that the Babylon Bee actually has to sue somebody to say we're the Babylon Bee? We are satire.
It's right. It's called comedy.
Yeah. So that's ridiculous. Ridiculous stuff.
Anyway, but here in California, we can't. Here's the thing: in California, Democrat politicians can't take the joke if they're the butt of it.
That's true, and I've got a joke that I could put in there, but we get thrown off the air. So
no, let's not put anything in any butts on this show.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, on that note, any comments on any of the other two stories that we commented on early? That I don't know if you were listening, but we talked about the students, the university president at San Francisco State University, where the swimmer spoke, where she was assaulted and held hostage for 3 hours. How the president came out and praised the students for their peaceful protest, and talked about how traumatic the event was for the students who assaulted the speaker, and how she offered counseling to them.
Parallel universe stuff. It's like Bizarro World over there in liberal land. They verbally assault and then hold somebody hostage for 3 hours, and then they get praised for it. It's I'm telling you, it's Bizarro World. It's I thought that was an insurrection. No, wait, that's a mostly peaceful riot. No, wait, that's a demonstration. I forget, Craig. They change them so many times.
Once again, it depends on who is doing it. If you happen to be promoting normal things, and you are shut down from speech, that is called peaceful protest. If you are promoting some sort of whacked out liberal left wing thing, then it's an insurrection.
Yes.
The person who gets shut down, right? Yeah. Democrats can do no wrong is the point I think that they are making. And then there's Anheuser-Busch losing over $5 billion in value in less than a week.
Craig, I know what's going on over there. I think, though, but because of the publicity, somebody actually tasted Bud Light, and that's why they actually started losing money.
I think so too. But I'm like, when you watch that lady speak, the vice president, the first woman ever to head up a major brand, a beer brand, and you just have to wonder. It's like, okay, let me go and insult my main customers, fraternities, and rednecks, or Southern gentlemen.
You don't need to pick a South
Outdoorsmen.
beer right
There you go. Outdoorsmen. Let's go ahead and offend them. And in order to build our brand, why don't we, let's see, how can we get more of them to drink it? Oh, I know. Let's put a dude in a dress.
There you go. That's it. That's it. Oh, by the way, Craig, you're not allowed to say outdoorsman. Outdoorsman's actually the code for homeless people. So you can't say outdoorsman either. So.
Oh, I thought that was people experiencing homelessness.
No, you can't say homelessness when you're talking about the homeless. They're just called adventurers or outdoorsmen. You know, is what we used to call them.
People experiencing outdoorsman-ish stuff.
There you go.
Jesus.
Domicilially challenged, right?
Domicilially challenged. Yeah. But yeah, how bad is it, Mike, when it comes, how bad have you messed up free speech when the Babylon Bee is suing you?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. You know, it's California. You know, they're going to sue. They're going to. The next thing you know, we're going to have Alvin Bragg here, suing Babylon Bee for calling his prosecution of President Trump a farce. Well, guess what? It is. So sorry.
It kind of is.
It is.
I don't know. What do you say to a prosecution that kind of is a farce? Look, when you're watching MSNBC and even they can't figure out what the heck your legal strategy is, something's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know one thing though, Craig. Trump went up 5 points in the polls this week. So thank you, Alvin Bragg.
And a couple more $1 million. Dude,
oh yeah, about 8
folks,
million.
Look, hey, Donald Trump is a billionaire. He doesn't need the money, and yet you guys are shoving it down his throat. Those of you who keep going after him. Going Kansas spinach at Popeye.
I just can't get it. That is. It's like throwing Kansas spinach at Popeye. He's like, ow. Do it.
Well, Mike, speaking of presidential candidates, looks like there's going to be another presidential candidate entering the race, and that is the South Carolina junior senator, Mr. Tim Scott, who has announced that he is launching his exploratory committee. I got to say, and I'm kind of torn about this because I really like Tim Scott. I think if you look at the legislative successes that President Trump had, almost to a policy, it was pushed through, and it was because of the work of Senator Tim Scott that it actually happened. I happen to think his strength is more as greater as a legislator than it is as a potential presidential candidate. But I'll tell you what, a friend of mine brought up a very interesting point that I think is another reason why I think he's going to have a hard time winning. Tim Scott is, I think, 52. Never been married. I know a lot of people in America. I just think I have this feeling, and not only that, he's also known as kind of a ladies' man there in DC. I don't think that their conservatives are going to vote for him for that reason, for president.
You know what? I want to address all of those, Craig, but bring that photo back up there for me of Senator Scott. The title of that photo should be "Who's Got Two Fingers and Wants a Cabinet Level Seat?" This guy. That's what this should be titled. This should be titled "Tim Scott Says He Wants a Cabinet Level Position." That's what this should be. He can see the writing. He knows which way this is going. I don't know. The Secretary of Agriculture or the VA or defense. I don't know, whatever this guy wants. I have no idea what he wants, but he's clearly putting himself on notice to say, hey, I have aspirations to move up. What can we do for each other?
I'd like to see him as Senate Majority Leader.
As far as it being single, Craig, I think about what you're saying, that might hurt him with some women. I think that might hurt him with women. They want to know why he's not married. As far as the guys, they're like, you go, man. Good for you. He will pick up votes from all the baby mamas out there, though. That he's got. So
baby mama vote. He's going for the baby mama. I could be next. They're going to create a presidential version of Tinder if he wins.
Yep. Current and future baby mamas. Yep.
There you go. Current and future baby mamas. Yep. Anyway, I wish the best to Senator Tim Scott. I wanted to give him that shout out because I met him a long time ago when he was Congressman Tim Scott, one of the most down to earth, regular guys you will ever meet. Very, very smart guy. It's easy to see how he has succeeded and been successful in the U.S. Senate.
There you go.
And on that note, we are now going to move over to our parting shots. That's right. Parting shots brought to you by Hog Holsters. All you got to do, go to hogholster.com. Use discount code The Rundown and get your Hog Holster today. All right, this first one that we got here, this is just to kind of show you the dichotomy of what we're dealing with these days.
Wow.
Dichotomy. I know, big words. So here you have a biological woman. This is Riley. This is the one who was speaking at San Francisco State. She's a biological woman. She's been canceled, assaulted, threatened, and held hostage. And then you have Leah Thomas, who is a biological man. Has been nominated for NCAA Woman of the Year, celebrated by ESPN during Women's History Month.
So first off, what's the blonde woman's name?
Her name is Riley Gaines.
Okay, and what's the non-blonde woman's name?
Leah Thomas.
So I'm a little worried, Craig. I was all for the whole. I'm not a big biological men and women's sports. Although the blonde woman's got bigger shoulders and arms than Leah Thompson does there, so
So I was thinking the same thing, except I'll just say this: those pictures are kind of zoomed in and cropped. They are not. Leah Thomas is huge.
Yeah.
Riley Gaines is not that tall of a woman.
And Craig, from what I understand, Leah Thomas has a little bit of a psychological problem also. I mean, if you take a look at the picture, I mean, you can clearly see she's nuts.
At least she's got some.
She's nuts. You can clearly see her. She's nuts. There you go. I could tell them again until you laugh, Craig, if you want. We can do that.
All right, we're going to move on to our next one. Oh, by the way, this one I had to share because I got this one off of, I saw this on Facebook from Conservative Cops. It says, this is, by the way, the woman we played. Her name is Alyssa Gordon Heinerscheid. Anyway, this is the woman whose video we just played who was talking about.
Heinerscheid. It's
Heinerscheid. There you go. Okay, Heinerscheid. There you go. Anyway, she is the first female to lead the largest beer brand in the industry. And I love what they say. It's the first female to lead the largest beer brand in the industry off the cliff.
That's it. Mayday. Mayday. We're going down. We're going
down. And finally, this one is.
Don't say finally. Don't say finally. I sent you one. I sent you one of these.
One of these? Okay. Well, then you describe this one while I go look for that one.
No. You describe this one while I send it to you again.
Okay. All right. So this one has it's on the left. You've got the how do I put this? You've got the woke white woman with the shrieking look on her face.
Yes.
And she's looking at this. So on the right, you have shooting at a mosque. and she's calling it a hate crime.
Hate
Then
crime.
you've got on the right again. Then you've got the shooting at a synagogue. She's calling it a hate crime.
Hate crime.
And then you have a shooting at a Christian school, and then you've got her looking longingly. Why do they hate trans people? And a lot of the conversation we're dealing with right now is the fact that for some reason they just seem to hate Christians. It seems to be okay for them to go after, shoot, kill, whatever they decide they want to do to Christians.
So look at the picture, Craig. The bottom one there, you've got the young lady. Yeah, she's wearing the glasses. She's got her little short Karen haircut going on, but
Right.
kind of a pretty girl right there. Look at her. It's pretty. I'm used to seeing the other face, the other picture. She's kind of a pretty girl. And then I look up and I see the scary psycho face. And I realize that Tim Scott's never seen that before. He's never seen a woman go from happy to psycho because he's not married. Never been married.
He hasn't. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to let you describe this last one.
How about I just read it?
Okay. Yeah. I forgot it's all words.
Doctors have noted a startling rise in testicular injuries amongst female athletes this year.
Now,
It's true.
folks, and this is what gets me about this, is that that's considered mean, angry, hateful, and bigoted. But I'm sorry, it is not only has the benefit of being true, but it's funny. And that's what comedy is.
Comedy. We got it.
We got it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit right
Come
here.
get your
Right here.
jokes. Come get your jokes.
Come with your jokes. All right, Mike, since you weren't here to do the open, I will let you do the second closing shout out to our sponsors.
Roger that. Let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. You can get your AR caliber, pistol caliber, and rifle caliber barrels at any length you want for your AR rifle or AR pistol builds. Go to hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want some awesome field tactical gear, going to the field kind of stuff, reach out to our friends at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that, we can bring you to them. Go to them, visit them, check them out, and make sure you tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We very much appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We got one more day this week, folks. We got Feedback Friday. We hope you all tune in. We hope you'll comment because, we kind of like it when you do. On that note, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank God it's Friday.